What if I told you that your testosterone levels have likely dropped by 30% since you turned 60, and you might not even realize it? What if the fatigue, the brain fog, and the loss of muscle mass you have been experiencing are not just normal parts of aging but signs of something that can actually be reversed? Most men have never been told the real reason their energy disappears, their confidence fades, and their bodies start failing them after 60. I am Dr. Eva Hart, a certified urologist with 14 years of experience working specifically with men over 60. I have seen thousands of men walk through my office doors, feeling defeated, thinking their best years are behind them. But here is what I have learned. Low testosterone is not just about performance in the bedroom. It is about your heart, your bones, your mind, and yes, even your lifespan. This is a topic many men feel uncomfortable discussing, but silence causes more harm than speaking up ever could. The shame and embarrassment that surround declining testosterone keep too many men suffering in isolation, when solutions exist right in front of them. In this video, I am going to reveal 10 hidden testosterone killers that are silently destroying your hormone levels every single day. These are not rare medical conditions or genetic flaws. These are common, everyday factors that 40% of men over 40 are unknowingly exposing themselves to. By age 80, nearly half of all men are affected. This is about more than just hormone levels. This is about reclaiming your energy, your confidence, your identity as a man. This is about reducing your risk of heart disease, diabetes, osteoporosis, and even premature death. Stay with me until the end because I will share one simple change that many of my patients call their game changer. Something so obvious that most doctors overlook it completely. And if this topic resonates with you, share in the comments what exactly speaks to you. And if it does not, let me know how I can improve the content and what topic would be more interesting for you. But first, let me tell you about something I discovered that shocked even me after all these years of practice. There is one testosterone killer hiding in almost every kitchen, and when my patients eliminate it, their energy levels often double within just 30 days. Let me tell you about something that is quietly happening in kitchens across America every single day. Men are unknowingly consuming foods that act like testosterone poison, and they have no idea what is happening to their hormone levels. When I review the eating habits of my patients, I see the same pattern over and over. Breakfast cereals loaded with sugar, lunch meats packed with preservatives, dinner meals that come from boxes and bags. These ultra-processed foods are not just empty calories. They are hormone disruptors. Here is what happens in your body when you eat refined sugars and trans fats. Your insulin levels spike dramatically, which triggers a cascade of hormonal chaos. Your body starts converting testosterone into estrogen at an accelerated rate. Meanwhile, the artificial chemicals and preservatives in these foods interfere with your natural hormone production. Research shows that men who consume high amounts of processed foods have testosterone levels that are 15% lower than men who eat whole, natural foods. But here is what the studies do not tell you: the damage compounds over time. The solution is not about counting calories or following complicated meal plans. Start reading labels. If you cannot pronounce an ingredient, your testosterone levels probably cannot handle it either. Choose foods that your grandfather would recognize as food. Your hormone levels will thank you, but there is something even more dangerous that might be happening while you sleep, and most men have no idea it is slowly destroying their testosterone production night after night. I have noticed something troubling in my years of practice. The heavier a man gets, especially around his midsection, the faster his testosterone disappears. But what most men do not understand is why this happens and how quickly it can be reversed. Belly fat is not just unsightly. It is a hormone-disrupting factory. Fat tissue contains an enzyme called aromatase, which converts your precious testosterone directly into estrogen. The more belly fat you carry, the more testosterone gets stolen from you every single day. Countless men tell me they feel like they are trapped in someone else's body. They remember feeling strong, energetic, confident. Now they look in the mirror and see a soft, tired stranger looking back. This is not just about vanity. This is about your hormone levels literally being hijacked by excess weight. But here is what gives me hope. Testosterone and weight loss work together in a powerful cycle. As you lose weight, your testosterone naturally increases. As your testosterone increases, losing weight becomes easier. Your body wants to help you succeed. Key is not extreme dieting or punishing yourself. Focus on reducing the inflammation that makes weight loss feel impossible. Anti-inflammatory foods like fatty fish, leafy greens, and berries can jumpstart this process. If you are reading this and it resonates with you, type plus in the comments. It is important for me to know that this information is helping you. Now, even if you are managing your weight perfectly, there is something that happens for 8 hours every night that could be sabotaging everything you are doing during the day. Here is what most doctors will not tell you about sleep and testosterone. Even one night of poor sleep can drop your testosterone levels by 10 to 15%. But for men over 60, chronic sleep problems create a hormonal disaster that most never recover from. Your body produces the majority of its testosterone during deep sleep, specifically during REM cycles. When you do not get quality sleep, you are literally starving your body of the time it needs to manufacture this crucial hormone. I had one patient who came to me exhausted, despite sleeping 8 hours every night. Through testing, we discovered he had sleep apnea. His oxygen levels were dropping dozens of times per hour, interrupting his deep sleep cycles. Within 3 months of treating his sleep apnea, his energy returned, his mood improved, and his testosterone levels increased by 40%. Sleep apnea affects up to 30% of men over 60, but many cases go undiagnosed. Constant interruptions in breathing prevent your body from reaching the deep sleep stages where testosterone production happens. Even without sleep apnea, poor sleep habits destroy hormone production. Late-night screen time, caffeine after 2 p.m., eating heavy meals before bed, or sleeping in a room that is too warm can all sabotage your testosterone manufacturing. The good news is that improving sleep quality often produces noticeable results within just a few weeks. Your body is incredibly responsive when you give it what it needs. But here is something that might surprise you. Even men who eat well, maintain healthy weight, and sleep perfectly can still see their testosterone plummet because of one type of exercise mistake. Most men think more exercise always equals better health, but I have seen something disturbing happen to men who focus exclusively on cardio exercise. Their testosterone levels often drop dramatically, and they cannot understand why they feel weaker despite working out more. Here is what happens when you do excessive amounts of cardio, especially long-duration, moderate-intensity activities like jogging or cycling. Your body interprets this as chronic stress. Your cortisol levels stay elevated for hours after your workout, and cortisol is testosterone's worst enemy. I remember working with men who were running 5 to 6 miles daily, proud of their cardiovascular fitness but frustrated by their declining energy and muscle mass. When we scaled back their cardio and added strength training, their testosterone levels began recovering within weeks. This does not mean cardio is bad for you. Your heart needs cardiovascular exercise. But balance is crucial. Long, slow cardio sessions can actually signal your body that it is in survival mode, which shuts down testosterone production to conserve energy. The solution is incorporating high-intensity interval training and prioritizing strength-building exercises that challenge your muscles. Your testosterone levels respond much better to short bursts of intense effort than to prolonged moderate activity. Your body wants to build and maintain muscle mass, but only if you give it the right signals through your exercise choices. Speaking of exercise, there is one mistake in the weight room that I see men making constantly, and it is sabotaging their hormonal response to strength training. I have noticed that many men over 60 gravitate toward light weights, thinking they are protecting themselves from injury. But here is what they do not realize. Training with weights that are too easy sends the wrong signal to your testosterone production system. Your hormones respond to stress and challenge. When you lift weights that feel comfortable and easy, your body has no reason to increase testosterone production. You need to create enough muscular stress to trigger a hormonal response. This does not mean you should lift dangerously heavy weights or ignore proper form. It means you need to challenge yourself progressively. If you can easily complete 15 repetitions of an exercise, the weight is too light to stimulate significant testosterone production. Research confirms that men who train with heavier weights for 6 to 8 repetitions experience much greater increases in testosterone than men who use light weights for high repetitions. Key is finding the right balance between challenge and safety. One approach that works well for my patients is focusing on perceived exertion rather than specific weights. Your last 2 to 3 repetitions should feel challenging but still allow you to maintain perfect form. The goal is not to impress anyone in the gym. The goal is to send a clear message to your endocrine system that maintaining muscle mass and testosterone production is still a priority. But even perfect weight selection will not help if you are avoiding the exercises that create the biggest hormonal response. Here is something that quietly destroys masculinity after 60. Men start avoiding the big, compound movements that built their strength when they were younger. They worry about their backs, their knees, their shoulders. But in protecting themselves from imaginary injuries, they are guaranteeing hormonal decline. Compound movements like squats, deadlifts, and overhead pressing recruit massive amounts of muscle tissue simultaneously. This creates a powerful hormonal response that isolated exercises simply cannot match. When you work multiple large muscle groups together, your testosterone production can increase significantly for hours after your workout. Most men have been convinced that these exercises are too dangerous as they age. But the real danger is muscle loss, bone density decline, and testosterone reduction that comes from avoiding challenging movements altogether. Key is scaling these exercises appropriately rather than avoiding them completely. Goblet squats instead of barbell back squats. Trap bar deadlifts instead of conventional deadlifts. Seated overhead presses instead of standing ones. Your body needs to know that you still demand strength and power from it. Isolation exercises and machines have their place, but they cannot replace the hormonal stimulus that comes from challenging your body as an integrated system. When you consistently challenge large muscle groups together, you are essentially telling your endocrine system to keep producing the hormones that maintain your strength and vitality. However, all the perfect exercise in the world cannot overcome one silent testosterone killer that might be affecting you right now. Most men think stress is just a mental challenge, something they should be tough enough to handle without it affecting their physical health. But chronic stress creates a biochemical environment in your body that makes healthy testosterone levels nearly impossible to maintain. When you are constantly worried about work, finances, health issues, or family problems, your body produces elevated levels of cortisol around the clock. Cortisol and testosterone exist in an inverse relationship. When one goes up, the other goes down. I have worked with successful men who exercise regularly, eat well, and get adequate sleep, but their testosterone levels remain stubbornly low because they live in a constant state of mental and emotional stress. Their bodies are stuck in survival mode, which shuts down non-essential functions like optimal hormone production. The impact goes beyond just feeling tired or moody. Chronic stress literally changes your brain chemistry, making it harder to make good decisions about food, exercise, and sleep. It becomes a vicious cycle where stress causes poor choices, which create more stress. Learning to manage stress is not about eliminating all challenges from your life. It is about developing tools to process stress more effectively. Deep breathing exercises, regular meditation, spending time in nature, or even just having honest conversations with trusted friends can significantly impact your hormonal health. Your testosterone levels will thank you for finding healthy ways to discharge the mental and emotional pressure that modern life creates. But there is another testosterone killer hiding in your kitchen that has nothing to do with the food you eat. You won't believe how something as simple as your food storage choices could be quietly destroying your hormone levels every single day. I am talking about BPA and other endocrine-disrupting chemicals that leach from plastic containers directly into your food and drinks. These chemicals are particularly dangerous when plastic is heated. That means microwaving food in plastic containers, leaving plastic water bottles in hot cars, or storing hot food in plastic containers creates a toxic chemical soup that interferes with your natural testosterone production. BPA mimics estrogen in your body, essentially flooding your system with fake female hormones while simultaneously blocking testosterone receptors. Even worse, these chemicals accumulate over time, creating a compound effect that gets worse with age. The solution is surprisingly simple but requires some conscious changes. Glass containers for food storage. Stainless steel water bottles. Never microwaving anything in plastic. These small changes can significantly reduce your exposure to hormone-disrupting chemicals. I have seen men make these simple swaps and notice improvements in energy and mood within just a few weeks. Your endocrine system is incredibly sensitive, and reducing chemical interference allows it to function more effectively. It might seem like a minor change, but remember, testosterone decline happens gradually through the accumulation of many small factors. Reversing that decline often comes from addressing many small factors as well. Now let me tell you about one dietary mistake that could be sabotaging everything else you are doing right. Here is what most doctors will not tell you about dietary fat and testosterone production. Your body needs healthy fats to manufacture hormones. When men try to eliminate fat from their diets, they are essentially starving their endocrine systems of the raw materials needed to produce testosterone. This misconception started decades ago when dietary fat was incorrectly blamed for heart disease. Countless men eliminated healthy fats from their diets, thinking they were protecting their cardiovascular health. Instead, they created a hormonal disaster that affected every aspect of their well-being. Research shows that men who consume adequate amounts of healthy fats maintain significantly higher testosterone levels than men on low-fat diets. Your body uses cholesterol and other fats as the building blocks for hormone production. Without adequate fat intake, testosterone production simply cannot occur at optimal levels. The Mediterranean diet provides an excellent model for healthy fat consumption. Olive oil, nuts, seeds, fatty fish, and avocados provide the types of fats your hormonal system needs to function properly. This does not mean you should eat unlimited amounts of any type of fat. Trans fats and highly processed oils can actually interfere with hormone production. But eliminating healthy fats entirely guarantees hormonal problems. Your testosterone levels depend on having the right raw materials available. Healthy fats are non-negotiable for optimal hormone production. If you are ready to take control of your hormonal health, start with one small change today, but remember, consistency matters more than perfection. Your masculinity is not something that has to fade with age. Every single factor I have shared with you today is within your control. You do not need expensive treatments, complicated protocols, or dangerous interventions to maintain healthy testosterone levels naturally. Start with the one area that resonates most strongly with you. Maybe it is improving your sleep quality, or eliminating processed foods, or adding strength training to your routine. Small, consistent changes compound into significant improvements over time, creating momentum that builds on itself. Remember, this is not about returning to who you were at 25. This is about becoming the healthiest, most energetic version of yourself at whatever age you are today. Your body is incredibly adaptive and responsive when you give it what it needs to thrive and flourish throughout your golden years. The men who succeed are not the ones who try to change everything at once. They are the ones who make one improvement, master it completely, then add another layer. Your testosterone levels will respond to consistency and patience rather than dramatic overnight changes that rarely stick or create lasting transformation. You have the power to reclaim your energy, your strength, your confidence, and your sense of masculine vitality. Choice is yours, and the time is now. Your future self will thank you for taking decisive action today instead of waiting for tomorrow to begin this life-changing transformation journey. If you found value in this information, subscribe for more natural health strategies. Share your biggest takeaway in the comments below and let me know which testosterone killer surprised you most. Together, we can help more men reclaim their natural vitality and strength.